Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Joey from Lock Props. Today we are going to be finishing up Tanjiro's blade from Demon Slayer. Now, this is going to be part 4. The other videos are actually the step-by-step process on how I got to this point here. But this episode, we're going to be mainly focusing on the painting and putting it all together. If you need any of the tools that I used in today's video, I'm going to leave affiliate links down below in the description. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's go ahead and get out the airbrush for this one. You can actually paint this using spray cans, but I just prefer the finish from airbrush. Getting some Alclad gloss black lacquer, I put a light coat on the piece before coming back with a more heavy second coat. After I gave the paint enough time to dry, I got the Alclad chrome version and began doing a light layer of the chrome before I got to a point that I liked. For spray cans, you can actually get this effect by doing a gloss black first and then spray a silver on top of this, and you'll get a similar result. Just make sure you allow the paint to fully cure between coats. While that's drying, I start taping off the bottom detail of the blade. Eventually we will switch over to frog tape, and I'll explain why later in the video. I use small pieces to really get the lines clean. One tip I always recommend is to really press down the sides so the edges are completely down and you won't have any underspray. Then the same as before, I used the gloss black and then covered it in chrome after the paint was cured. I don't know why, but peeling off tape after painting is so satisfying. I don't know, is that just me? I don't know, I think it's just me. Then I had to clean the surface, so then I grabbed a tack cloth to clean off any dust that may have gotten on the blade. Now on to the next part of the blade. I grabbed the blue tape and started going up both sides of the blade, making sure I'm covering the sharp end of the blade, and basically used the bevel I sanded down to be the line I follow. We need to cover the area we last painted, so we will now switch to frog tape. The reason why this is important is because the blue painter's tape left some residue on my paint before in the past, and I had to restart my painting process all over again. This yellow version of the tape has low adhesion, so make sure you really get the edges to avoid getting the paint under the tape. Basically, this whole blade needs to be covered in gloss black. I don't know why I didn't just do that in the first place, but hey, hindsight is 20/20. I find that I get a better coat if I do a light coat first, then let it dry for a few minutes, then apply the second. Once the gloss black dries, I grab some Alclad stainless steel lacquer. I do a light coat first, then keep adding until I get the effect that I want. I don't want to go overboard here, otherwise there was no point for the gloss black to be underneath the stainless steel. Once the steel has fully cured, I used Alclad Candy Electric Blue. And the same with the steel, I apply small amounts of the blue until I think it gets to a point that I like. I don't know if spray cans have transparent blue, but if you wanted to add blue, you could spray from really far away and just have a dusting of the blue on top of the stainless steel. Then I peeled off the blue painter's tape. Trust me when I say applying masking tape is really annoying, but it's so worth it if you put in the time to really make it sealed and protected. After giving this paint a full day to cure, I apply frog tape to the blue metal section. Then gloss black the rest of the sword. I was having an issue with the airbrush that it would be glossy where I just sprayed, but then the surrounding area would then turn matte. That's why when I'm spraying, I go in a circular motion to keep the gloss going. Once dried, I cleaned off the possible lint and dust with the tack cloth. Then to seal the paint, I grabbed some Alclad Aqua Clear Gloss. If you use this stuff, just be sure to not apply too much, since if you use too much of it, it will fog up the paint and make it look like milk. Ugh. Then pull off the tape for the oh so satisfying reveal. We next need to add a little shine to the very end of the blade for the edge. I took Tamiya 6mm masking tape and began going along the edge of the blade. This will be the section where we will be painting, and you'll see why I'm masking off that part in a second. I wanted to make sure that the bright silver would follow the edge completely and also didn't want to freehand it. Then I take another piece of tape and butt it right up against the first tape line. Then when I get to the very end, I will have 2 lines of tape going up the blade. Then I take off the tape at the very edge of the blade, now showing a perfect line that follows the edge. I need to tape up the rest of the blade, so I get out the yellow frog tape to do the job. Then we load up the airbrush again with the all-clad stainless steel. Just like the back of the blade, I go with the light coat until I get to the point where I'm happy with the shine and color. Final unwrapping time. Feels like Christmas when you're taking off all the tape. There we are. I really like how this turned out. Before I put all the pieces together, I'll have to first measure the sword. Each blade I make is uniquely shaped, so I want to make a sheath that fits this blade specifically. So I traced out the blade, cut out the templates, and saved it for later. I'll be making a video on how to make that sheath at a later time. Time to take all of our pieces and start putting them together. I start off by getting the pommel and the handle. I put a generous amount of super glue on the inside of the pommel and sprayed some glue accelerant on the handle. I firmly pressed them together after a few seconds and now they're stuck in place. Next I need to prep the rod for the handle. I grabbed some 80 grit sandpaper and roughed up the surface just enough for the glue to grab hold. But before I put the glue on the rod, I will glue the guard on first. I put some super glue on the bottom of the blade since the handle will mainly be held there. I sprayed the handle with the accelerant and glued them together. I covered the rod with super glue so that there is enough glue on the inside of the handle and it doesn't come off or spin. Now the last piece is glued together and I'm done. That took a while, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. Now with this template that I actually provided you guys, you actually can make whatever blade that you want. For example, with the same template, I actually ended up creating Zenitsu's blade from Demon Slayer as well. And if you guys like these builds, I actually did create Thor's Mjolnir from the movie Love and Thunder. And if you guys wanted to see that, go ahead and click right here.